She's a rare gem. Jaime Zobel de Ayala donates $7 million to support tennis phenom Eala. Manila, 2025. The sun glistened on the bay. The streets buzz with the rhythm of life. And in a quiet corner of the Ayala corporate tower, an extraordinary conversation was about to change a life, and perhaps the course of Philippine sports forever. At 89, Jaime Zobel de Ayala was a man who had seen the country's stories unfold from every angle, its struggles, its triumphs, its heroes. But on this day, his mind wasn't on boardrooms or stock prices. It was on a young woman whose courage had ignited his heart, Eala, the 20-year-old Filipina tennis prodigy whose every swing carried the weight of a nation's dreams. He leaned back in his chair, smiled softly, and said to his aide, "Let's do something meaningful for that girl. She's a rare gem, and the world needs to see her shine." And with that, a $7 million donation was born, a gift not just of money, but a belief. This is the story of that belief, how one man's faith in a young champion became a national symbol of unity, hope, and unstoppable spirit. The girl who dreamed under Manila's sky. Long before headlines called her the pride of the Philippines, Eala was just a little girl in Quezon City. Curious, playful, and fiercely competitive. Her father, Mike, remembered her first encounter with a tennis racket. She was only 4. The racket was taller than her, but she swung like it was a sword. By 7, she was training daily, drenched in sweat under the tropical heat, refusing to quit until her serves landed just right. While other kids spent weekends in malls, Alex was hitting balls on cracked courts, her laughter echoing between fences. Her mother, Riza, often watched from the stands, whispering a quiet prayer. Lord, if this is her path, give her the strength to follow it. The strength came. So did the sacrifices. Her family sold their car to afford travel. Her brother, Miko, gave up his own training to support her tournaments abroad. And Alex, still a teenager, left home to train in Spain. Chasing a dream that seemed impossible for a girl from a country with no tennis infrastructure to speak of. But she didn't flinch. She played. She fought. She believed. The battle abroad. In Mallorca, Spain, the academy of Rafael Nadal, Alex found her new world. She trained from dawn till dusk, surrounded by elite athletes, none of whom had ever heard of the Philippines. At first, she struggled. Her English accented Spanish amused her peers. Her style, aggressive and fearless, often drew puzzled looks. But soon, they saw the fire in her eyes. Eala never gives up, one coach said. She has that Southeast Asian spirit. Soft-spoken off the court, storm on it. By 2022, she made history. The first Filipina to win a Grand Slam singles title, clinching the U.S. Open Juniors crown. It wasn't just a victory. It was a declaration. But the journey wasn't smooth. Injuries haunted her. Sponsorships wavered. Critics whispered that her rise was a fluke, that her nation couldn't support her career long-term. Still, Alex pressed on. She played in small ITF tournaments, traveling from Tunisia to Thailand, often alone, living out of suitcases. Each match, she told herself, I'm not just playing for me. I'm playing for home. The observer. While the world watched the results on scoreboards, Jaime Zobel de Ayala watched something else, her grit. From his office, the patriarch of the Ayala dynasty followed her journey. A lifelong supporter of Philippine art, culture, and youth empowerment, he had always admired stories of determination. And when he saw Eala's post-match interviews, her humility, her grace, her refusal to boast despite global praise, he saw something rare. She reminds me of what this country's spirit used to feel like, he told his son, Fernando. Simple, strong, and full of dignity. He saw in her not just talent, but truth, the meeting that changed everything. The meeting took place on a warm January morning at the Ayala Museum. Alex had just returned from a tournament in Tokyo. She was tired but glowing, her smile bright as the museum's marble floors. As she entered the private room, she was surprised to see Jaime Zobel himself waiting, his cane resting beside him, his eyes kind and curious. Mr. Zobel, she said nervously, it's such an honor. No, my dear, he replied softly. The honor is mine. They spoke for over an hour. Not about business or fame, but about discipline, sacrifice, and the meaning of home. At one point, Jaime asked, "Do you ever get scared?" Alex paused. "Every match. Every time I walk on court. But I've learned that fear doesn't mean weakness. It means I care." He smiled. "That's why you'll go far. Because you care." A week later, news broke across media outlets. Jaime Zobel de Ayala donates $7 million to establish the Eala National Tennis Development Program. It would fund training facilities, scholarships for young athletes, and a foundation to support women in sports. The shockwave. The Philippines erupted in celebration. TV anchors praised Zobel's generosity. Sports networks hailed it as a turning point for Philippine tennis. Social media flooded with messages. Finally, someone believes in our athletes. Alex deserves every bit of this. Even global tennis icons took notice. Serena Williams tweeted, "The grand stage." Later that year, Alex qualified for the WTA Elite Trophy in Zhuhai, marking her debut on one of tennis's biggest platforms. Reporters from across Asia gathered to ask about her journey, her sponsors, her inspiration. Her answer was simple. "This isn't just about me. It's about showing that Filipino talent belongs on this stage. Mr. Zobel's support reminded me that home believes in me, and that's all I needed." She fought fiercely, defeating two top 30 players before bowing out in the semifinals. But by then, it wasn't about results. It was about presence. She stood tall, waving the Philippine flag on international TV. Her smile radiant under the bright lights. The final tribute. In December 2025, the Ayala Foundation hosted a gala titled Championing Dreams. The event honored both Jaime Zobel and Eala for their contributions to Philippine youth. When asked to speak, Alex stepped to the podium, her voice trembling with emotion. "Sir Jaime, when you called me a rare gem, I thought you were talking about my success. But now I understand you were talking about something deeper. You saw potential not just in me, but in our people. You believed that Filipinos could shine, if only given a chance. Your belief built something that will outlive both of us, opportunity." The crowd stood in ovation. Jaime smiled from his table, eyes moist, whispering to his wife, "She's already a legend." Epilogue. The gem that glows forever. As the year ended, Eala returned to her old tennis court in Quezon City. The sun was setting, painting the sky in gold. She placed her racket down, looked up, and whispered, "Thank you, not just to Jaime Zobel, not just to her family, but to everyone who had believed, even when the world didn't." In that moment, it was clear. This wasn't just a story about a donation. It was a story about faith, about what happens when one generation lifts another, and how greatness multiplies when shared. Eala's journey was far from over, but her legacy, like a rare gem, was already shining across time, unbreakable and eternal. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.